Is $999 enough to start a business? It absolutely is, and I'm going to show you how. And this video is kind of just unexpected, as I totally made on my social media a post, which you see here on the screen. I like how this guy throws it out there, and it was my first ever social media post that went viral as of the time right now, and it's still going. This thing has over 31,000 likes and hearts, which is very, very encouraging, I should say. That's awesome. I can't believe that there's that many out there. And then it also has 21,000 shares. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But it's also got the 1,500 comments. And maybe you've already started reading some of them on the screen here, but it's a situation where I'm not calling any of these people idiots. I don't think they're morons, nothing like that. I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they're saying what they are, why they are thinking what they are. But my goal to this video is, I don't want to just be one of these people that makes, throws out social media posts, throws out memes, but doesn't really have any sort of actual, proof, evidence, anything behind them to actually offer up. But no. The concept here is totally applicable. Now, the concept here is still not $999. You're not supposed to take these figures literally, right? You're supposed to take them as life is filled with choices, and how you're making those choices is the ultimate thing. But I'm going to set that aside, and let's actually look at the number of $999, because as you see, like I said, looking around, all sorts of people saying you can't start a business for $1,000. You can't start a business for $1,000, which I disagree with, and I'm going to show you what I would do. I'll do it a couple ways, but to offer these people, I understand what they're coming up. They think of a business as like, okay, I need a building, I need inventory, I need a staff. Like, that's a business. And all I'm saying is I understand why you're saying that, but perhaps consider that, no, that's not a business. A business can be just you. A business does not have to be all these other things. A business does not have to be, and this person, wanted to point out one, where is it? Yeah. Right there. Never heard of one lately, started with $1,000. Usually a $500,000 loan. Now again, Will, I understand what Will is saying. Will is thinking, well, if you want to start a business, then you gotta get a building, you gotta get staff, you gotta get equipment, you gotta get et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, that's true for some businesses, but a business does not mean that that's what it's gotta be. A business is a very broad term, and a business is something where at the core, are you making money for yourself? Are you going out there and doing something, and that something you're doing is causing people to want to pay you? That's what a business is. And do you need a staff? Do you need a building? Do you need inventory in order to do that? No, absolutely not. I mean, at the most primitive core, right, the stereotypical answer is, hey, get a lawnmower, knock on somebody's door, can I mow your lawn? That is a business. Now, very primitive, and I'm not going to say that you have to go that primitive, but I'm going to walk you through some, things that you can do that totally possible to start a business for less than $1,000. And I also want to let you know that there's several ways that you could go about this. So I've already done a video on this. I think it was over a year ago, about if I was back to being broke and had nothing, what would be my plan of action in this day and age? And I go through that step by step in the video here. And I will say that I've had a couple people actually do it, and they're kind of surprised that, oh wow, like if anything, they're being overwhelmed because there's so much actual demand for what I talk about in this video. And spoiler alert, it requires some sweat, it requires some blisters, it requires some, dare I say, hard work, but it is 100% needed and a great way to start from zero. And like I said, I'll put the link down to that below, but I'm not going to use that. I just want to throw that out there just so you know that this is not me like cherry picking one little avenue to start a business with less than $1,000. Here is one that, again, I go through step by step in that video. I'll put the link, like I said, down below. Now this part, here may seem trivial, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of literally the English language here that we're using in terms of what I'm talking about. So we have somebody that wants to start a business, right? And everybody's thinking, well, start a business, as a lot, not everybody, but a lot of people, when you look at the comments and look at how many people are liking each comment, think that starting a business, as you saw in Will's case, well, you need a $500,000 loan. But here's the thing, and here's what I'm saying is, really there's two ways of looking at business. And I would say that at this point, which represents a business, at that point, that is the have. Meaning you have a business. There is no starting it. Now, of course, you've just started it, so now you have it. But the point is, you have a business. That's one part of the process. But the part of the process that I'm going to focus on and that I'm literally talking about here is this part right here. The arrow, the process to having a business, which is what? Well, in order to have one, you have to actually start a business. And a lot of people are looking at it more of, okay, well, what does it cost to have a business? Well, yeah, you do need a bunch of stuff. I'm not saying that where you can just have a business all of a sudden with $9.99, but to get to the point of having a business, that is the angle that I'm coming from. And that is the angle where I would encourage, who knows, maybe some of those people will watch that. I've also learned that some people out there refuse to consider anybody's point of view, and they will come up with excuses for anything. But even if just one of those people is watching this and saying, okay, yeah, I can see where starting a business is different than having a business, then I think we will find some common ground here. So that is what I'm talking about, is I'm talking about the arrow, right? Yeah, not having the business already, because yeah, you can't just with $1,000 and you have a factory all of a sudden. But let's talk about, okay, well, let's say you want a factory. Let's say you want a business. Well, that is how you start a business. If you want something, if you want to have something, you got to start the process of getting to the having something. And that's what I'm talking about. The process of getting to the point where you can have what you want. Now, with any sort of business development, you need to have a plan, right? You need to have a course of action that you're going to take. You need to know where you want to go. And as much as I would love to sit here and say, well, because I would love to have a business where I sell rainbows and unicorns and lollipops, and to be fair, maybe that would be a great business to start. But point being, you want to make sure that there's actually demand. You want to make sure that there's actually going to be a marketplace for that business, because you don't want to go into business and then have no customers, and well, that's just going to be a failure. That's going to be a waste of your time. It's going to be a waste of your resources. So let's make sure that, and again, I'm not trying to sit here and say like any of this is rocket science, but like I said, I want to back up and I want to go step by step in terms of offering up a solution to what a lot of people apparently think is a problem, meaning you can't start with $1,000. So again, I'm not going to just sit in and say, yeah, you can. Okay, that's weak sauce, right? That there's no backbone into that. So like I said, just want to show you that step one would be, well, let's make sure that there's actually going to be people out there that want to pay you for whatever business you want to start and you want to have, right? So the business that you want to have, you want to make sure that people are actually going to want to pay you, or else you're not going to have that business very long. But that's all part of the starting process, right? Let's do a little bit of market research. And here you can see, just found an article, and there's so much stuff out there, but this is just one that says, especially in this day and age, but the idea here is that trade school, not a 4-year degree, is a better bet to solve the U.S. income gap. And I'm not going to read the full article. I'll put all these links down below there. But right here is basically the big bullet point. There we go. There are too many 4-year degree or 4-year colleges serving too many students, and too few institutions with greater focus on vocational education and training. So trade schools. And if that, well, Clay, that's outdated, that's not real. I understand that. I respect that. But it's very easy to verify this. Call an electrician, call a plumber, call a carpenter, call any sort of in the trades, right? Get your hands dirty type thing, and see what their backlog looks like. Say, hey, can you get out here today? Like, what's your schedule look like? They're pushed so far back. The trades are crazy how many, like I said, or I should really say how long it'll take for you to get something done in terms of a trade. Like I said, I mean, it's unbelievable, and don't have to take my word for it. Just call up any of these companies and say, hey, can you get out here soon? And no, we got quite a bit of a backlog. It's wild. So point here being that the trades, right? Go out there and learn a skill in the trades is going to be putting yourself, it's going to be giving you a skill that you can then take to, well, build a business around. But let's not go and have, for example, a plumbing business until you first know how to be a plumber, right? So part of having a plumbing business would be you got to learn plumbing skills, and then you can have the company, right? So hopefully we can all agree on that premise. That's kind of common sense. So with the next phase, okay, well, yes, Clay, that's common sense. If I want to have a plumbing business, I need to get the skills. I need to learn how to become a plumber. But Clay, you can't go to trade school for $1,000. And you know what? You're absolutely right. You can't. You can go for much less than that. And this is awesome. This is fantastic. But, and again, this is just one site. So run a Google search. There's all sorts of resources out there. But here you can see 33 companies that will pay for your college. And it doesn't mean the four-year college. It could mean a trade school. And I'm not going to insult your intelligence. Again, I'll put a link down below. But you can see, and to be fully honest, I was not aware of all this until I did a little bit of research. I mean, I had broad ideas, but then to know that there's this many companies, I mean, check it out. Home Depot, 5,000 years per year in tuition assistance. And again, from a trade school perspective, and here's the other good thing about the trade school is most of those are like 2 years. A 2-year degree can reap you some very, very good benefits. And a lot of the trade schools, and this is up to 5,000. Now, all of them, Amazon will pay 95% of tuition and fees for high demand degrees, which is good, right? If you're going to get a degree in the history of, Roman bobsledding, Amazon's probably not going to pay for that because there's not really any sort of value in that degree. Now, if you like the history of Roman bobsledding, that's cool. Keep it as a hobby, but you don't want to go and get a degree in it, right? And Amazon's not going to pay for that. But right there, 99 cents and Chipotle, UPS, $25,000. And the point here being is that there are things out there that will allow you to go to school for free, especially when you look at what it costs to go to these trade schools to get a skill, and then you combine that with these other companies. But Clay, you have to go and work for these companies. Yeah, you do. That's part of the process, right? Part of the process to having a business is learning the skill. Part of learning the skill is, you got to pay for the skill. And if you want the skill to be free to learn, you're going to have to spend some time working for somebody else. But that's part of it. That's called having a plan. That's called taking it step by step by step. Now, I understand in this day and age, a lot of the self-entitled atmosphere and mentality is, no, I want it now. I want a profitable business now. Well, I'm sorry, that's just the whole get rich quick mindset. That's not how business building works. That's not how anything in life works, which is why, the supplement industry, hey, lose 50 pounds, take my pill. Lose 50 pounds in 30 days. Now. If you want the reality of the matter is, it's 100% possible to start a business for under $1,000. But if you put on the stipulation, no, it's not possible to start $1,000 or start a business with $1,000 and have it instantly profitable like in a week. Well, you're right. If you put that stipulation on it, you're correct. But that's just not how the world works. And if you feel as though that's how the world should work, then that's just, you have a very self-entitled thing that you can think you can just start a profitable business without any sort of plan of action that takes time. But everything, you cannot poke holes in anything. Well, I'm sure some people will try to poke a hole in something. Well, this, that, what about this? For the vast majority of cases, you are capable of picking up a job that is going to pay for you to get a skill that you know. But notice how we've reverse engineered the process. What's the first thing we've done here? We figured out what would be a good business to have. What is going to have customers for you so that you don't have a business for 2 seconds because then you go out of business. So that's where we started. Okay, well, we now know what that business is in our example, a plumbing business. Well, in order to have a plumbing business, you're going to need to be a plumber at first, obviously, before you start to go out. And maybe you stay as a one-person show the whole time. I'm not saying you have to go and build like a massive operation. Maybe you just decide, no, I'm going to be a one-person show. That's totally fine. That is a business, right? Because you are going out there offering a service that people are willing to pay you for. But I don't know. Maybe you're like, no. I want to have plumbers work underneath me. Okay, well, cool. But in either of those situations, you still need the skill of plumber, which is why, you got to get this skill. Well, in order to get the skill, you got to pay for the skill to go to school. Or you can figure out to have somebody else pay for it, which again, we haven't even spent $9.99 yet. Haven't spent that $1,000. But the cost of that is and it's not even a cost because technically, you have to go and work for them. But you're not working for them for free. These are just added benefits, right? And I should also note that, in fact, let's just go to this. So, no, Clay, that's all outdated. All right. As of the recording of this video right here, April 29, 2021. Now, I realize this will go public in May, but can we all agree this is within the last month? That check out what Lowe's is doing here. Get on-the-spot offer during Lowe's National Hiring Day. How cool is that? Lowe's is looking to hire more than 600 new employees at its St. Louis stores. Well, Clay, I don't live in St. Louis. Can we just the general idea here, right? The general idea is go through that list. Find an employer that offers tuition assistance. That's the core point I'm getting at here. So I don't live in St. Louis, Clay, therefore this doesn't apply to me. Come on, be honest with yourself. Don't pigeonhole yourself into such narrow-minded thinking, okay? But here, now if you are in St. Louis, whoo, you got zero excuses at all. But it's going to hire 600 new employees at its St. Louis stores on Hardware Stores National Hiring Day on Tuesday, May 4th. The open positions include cashiers, retail associates, stockers and receivers, merchandising service associates, driver. Come on now. I'm struggling. There we go. Drivers, supervisors, and pro sales roles. Where does it go? Oh, this is fantastic. Lowe's also offers a program that pays for full tuition. Full tuition. Now, some of those other companies, it was we'll pay a part, but no, full tuition to a trade school. Boom. After an employee has worked at Lowe's for 6 months, which makes sense, right? You got to show them some loyalty. They're not just going to start to pay for you because you work for them for an hour. But all right, at least now you know. Within your plan of action, phase one is going to be, I got 6 months of Lowe's. That they're going to be paying me, right? 6 months at Lowe's. However, but they're also going to pay for the Track to the Trades program, which is awesome. In fact, let's actually click on that. I don't know what. Redirect. Let's get rid of that real quick. There we go. So here you have the entire program. No strings attached. I mean, so it goes through it all right there. Made for working adults, so you can do all this stuff while you have jobs, education. Oh, all right, this is cool. Let me bring that over some more. 100% tuition covered, including HVAC repair, appliance repair, construction, and plumbing. All right. Yes, my example. And I didn't really click it. Up to $2,500 per year tuition covered for a wider selection of programs. And so that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And why do you think people are willing to pay for 100% tuition covered? Is it logical for me to say, well, maybe because there's like high demand for that sort of stuff? Like we need more HVAC specialists. We need more people in construction. We need more plumbers, electricians. Yes, that's why people are willing to just flat out pay for it, because society, there is demand. And if you're looking to have a business, having a business in a field where there's demand for your product or service, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. And that's what we have here. So that's what you got to do. You've got to go and you've got to work 6 months. While you're getting 6 months, you're making money. After 6 months, you're going to keep working there. You're going to keep getting paid, but you're also going to have, well, payments for your skill that you're learning. Well, Clay, but still to start a business, you need licenses, you need, you need insurances, and you're right. So figure out those, like how much do you need? Because I'm not going to refute that point at all. You're absolutely right. You need a license, you need insurance, you need stuff like that. But how much is that amount? Okay, now you have that amount. Now you know how much, well, you need to keep on saving to get to that amount so you can, well, have a business. Because you can't start it unless you have the license, and you're all absolutely right. But do you notice how when you have a plan and you actually start to assign numbers to things, now you can start to do basic math. Okay, if it's $1,000, let's just say, to get a license, well, then I now know that if I set aside X amount, then it'll take me Y amount of time. Or if I up that amount, then it'll take me less amount of time. But the point here being is, when you start to actually assign values to things, you can put timescales to things. Now, maybe you're like, no, that takes too long. But because I have these numbers, what happens if I picked up another part-time job, for example, and I don't know, delivering pizzas at night? All of a sudden, okay, well, I'm going to make that amount, and it's going to allow me to have the plumbing business that much sooner. Now, you can't get it too soon because obviously, right, you got to get through the schools. You got to, know what you're doing. You got to get the skill. But eventually, you're going to have something. Now, maybe you want to go work for a plumber first, right? Learn the business of plumbing, learn the skill, and, have somebody else pay you. But in the back of your mind, you know that this is a means to an end. Yes, I know I had to work for Lowe's for, let's just call it 6 months a year, something like that. Yes, I know, now I got to go to work for another plumber. But you know what? It's much easier to do all that stuff when you know that each is just a step of starting your business, of having a business. You got to do all these other things to actually start it. And it becomes so much more easy to do that stuff when you know that each part is you're just using each thing to accomplish your ultimate goal. And none of this is requiring $1,000. Now, it does require a plan. It does require working for other people. It does require maybe picking up another part-time job. It does require hard work. I'm not refuting any of that. But that goes back to the philosophy of kind of the 30-day pill, right? Oh, if I take a pill for 30 days, I'll lose 50 pounds. Listen, you're just living in la-la land. There's no such thing as a business. You don't get to just start a business and then have it be wildly profitable right off the get-go. But it's totally possible. So for the people that are wondering, wait, how is that possible? What can I do? Well, like I said, just rearrange your definition of what starting a business means. Doesn't mean massive staff, massive inventory. No, starting a business means, well, let's have a plan to start a business. And as you see, if you're willing to do what you got to do, you can get the entire thing financed for you. The skills, all that you need. And again, am I saying you have to start a plumbing business? No. Start a business where you know that there's going to be a high demand for your product or service. To be fair, maybe it is selling rainbows and unicorns and lollipops. Maybe that is a great business that I'm totally missing out on right now because I haven't done enough market research in it. I'll be fair. That is possible. However, all I'm saying is work backwards. And then as I demonstrated, it is totally possible. And I know everybody's got different time schedules, but you know what? Instead of saying can't, if you say how, it's amazing how things will open up. And I understand that people can have families. I understand that people can have kids, but I will tell you this right now, that look at charities around you. Look at faith-based organizations. And I don't say this to pat myself on the back. I'm not trying to virtue signal. I'm just saying as a very fact of a matter, that the church that I'm a part of, if we knew that there is a member that was struggling, that was, they're in a tough spot, but they're trying to implement a situation like this. Well, they're trying to go to Lowe's so they can work, so that they can eventually qualify for this. And they have a plan of action. And they're like, hey, here's my plan of action. Can you help? I can speak for not only myself, but for many other people that are part of the church. Can you watch my kids a couple nights a week, or can you? Absolutely. Hey, you're trying to do something, let us know. And that is not me being special. That is not my church being special. That is just human beings at the core are willing to help out other human beings that aren't trying to just, totally mooch off the system. Free of charge, right? It's not like, well, yeah, but we'll babysit your kids for... No. I would love to help you out. I would love to help you get out of your rough spot. So before you go and start throwing examples of, the single mom with that single mom, again, if you're just out there all alone, but there are plenty of things, and this is not unique to my church. This is not unique to me. I'm not the only person that would be willing to do that. There are so many people, and it doesn't even have to be a church. It does not have to be a faith-based organizations. There are going to be. If they're not, how's that? That's a really good idea. Like a charity that offers child assistance just to people trying to, get themselves out ahead. None of this requires the government, right? The government isn't exactly known for being efficient with money, right? So I'm throwing that out there because I know there's going to be some extreme example. When let's face it, those are always outlier. Those are pretty extreme examples. Yes, there's single mothers. Yes, they're already out there hustling and grinding. But I'm just saying, if they put together a plan, I think that combined with all sorts of other dynamics in terms of, again, I keep using the church just because that's something that I have personal experience with, and I know how my church, other churches operate. That's totally something that would be valid. So just keep that in mind. How long are we on this? 24 minutes. So if you're still here, thank you. I assume that you're at least being open-minded to what I have to say. I would assume people that are like, no, Clay, nope, I'm filled with excuses. They're probably gone by now. So I suppose I can speak a little bit more freely right now. And I will. I've also learned through that social media post that some people, it's discouraging because I like to look at people and be like, no, everybody. I truly believe that everybody can improve their situation. No, I don't think that everybody is going to be out there having a garage filled with Lamborghinis, myself included. I don't think I'm ever going to make hundreds of millions of dollars or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that I can't do stuff, that I can't put together a plan that's going to better my situation. And I believe everybody is totally capable of that. It's just in many situations, people don't really know how to structure a plan. Like, what are the pieces to it? And hopefully, if I've done my job right, I've laid that out here. But I also realize that some people will make excuses no matter what. No matter what, there's always an excuse about why something can't happen. And right here, it can happen. Lowe's. Shout out to Lowe's. Shout out to Home Depot and Amazon and Chipotle and UPS and Starbucks, FedEx, Target, Publix. Hey, there's Lowe's right there. Yeah, so we just saw that, right? They offer up to $2,500 for any bachelor's degree, but they will go full go if you do some of those certain ones, including plumbing. So there you go. Wells Fargo, and the list goes on and on and on. And so there's ways, but you got to plan, you got to be willing to make some sacrifices, and you got to know what to expect going in. And then you just look at each step as one step towards ultimately having that business. And really, it doesn't cost $1,000. So if this helps, if you enjoyed this video, if you would like to make more like this, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. And if you have any sort of inspiring stories, like have you gone through something similar to this, please leave those in the comment section just so we can build up. Because I know there's going to be people that are, probably throwing up excuses. And I will say this, final note, I don't have the time to get in some sort of philosophical, economical argument with you. I presented my case, and if you disagree with it, I respect that. But for my own sake, from a time perspective, I don't have the time to get into some sort of massive debate. So all comments on this video, because I do reply to all comments on my YouTube videos, I'm just going to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for the thoughts, something of that nature. But like I said, even if you say hi, I'm going to say, and there will be some people that just say hi, which always laughs. I'm still going to just say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, some sort of variation of that, because I just don't have the time to try to get into some debate with you about why this is or is not possible. I presented my case. I presented sources. I presented, reasoning for everything. I presented quite literally companies that are saying, they are advertising, come work for us and we'll help you learn a skill so that you can better your situation. I don't know what else more I can do, but it is what it is. So thanks for watching, and get out there and make it happen. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.